here's my best advice for you. You got to disappear. Put your head down, disappear for 90 days where you're not available to the whole world. You're not at everybody's birthday parties. You're not at everything. You get real good at saying no and you lock in and immerse yourself in your goal. The time spent on social media, listening to the radio, watching TV, the time spent hanging out at restaurants, doing nothing, just killing time. You could disappear for 90 days and in that 90 days completely transform your life. So I was talking to one of my top agents and we were talking about how do you go from where you're at, which is good, to where you're trying to get to, which is better. So this person's making about $125,000 a year right now, and her goal is to get to $300,000, $400,000. So we're driving in the truck having a conversation about it, and I was explaining to her how everything great happens in a short amount of time. This short, intense period of time where all the effort, all the energy, all the focus, all the intensity, all the passion, all of it goes in this short little window of time. And that window of time is the catalyst and the catapult to take everything to another level. But it doesn't happen 1 week at a time for 52 weeks. It happens one day at a time for 75 to 90 days. So that's our topic today. How can you transform and really light an explosion into whatever it is you're trying to grow, whether it's your business, whether it's your fitness, whether it's just transforming your mind and your mentality and the way you think. All these things, they happen in this short window of time. They don't happen long term. And so we're going to dive into that. We're going to explore that thought today because I think if you're watching the podcast, you're probably goal-oriented. You're probably goal-driven. You're probably progress-focused, like myself, like any entrepreneur, like someone who's trying to transform their body in the gym. It's how can I make this if we were on a graph, how can I make this huge vertical climb towards progress versus slow progress? Slow progress is good, but it's slow. And if you look at this, the theme of before and after photos on social media, for example, some of them are a year long, 2 years long, 3 years long, because they're huge transformations. But 75 Hard became popular because you could do it in 75 days, not 75 weeks. And there's a magic inside of that 75 to 90 day window. So what makes the science behind 75 to 90 days, what makes that so powerful? I'll give you a couple reasons why. Number one, that's a time period that most people can focus. I could focus for 75 days. I've used 75 Hard, for example, over and over again every time I'm off my routine. If I've traveled, I've got thrown off my routine, I'm not reading, I'm not in the gym, I'm not motivated on appointments. I've used 75 Hard to jumpstart and reset me over and over again. Because anyone could focus for 75 days. You look at it and you go, in 75 days, I could transform everything. 75 Hard is a mindset, mental toughness, discipline, physical transformation, right? I got to read my 10 pages of a book, self-development book every day. I got to do 2 workouts. I got to follow a diet. I can't cheat. No cheat meals, no alcohol, drink a gallon of water. Like it's everything. It's everything from the brain to the body. It's inside and out. But 75 days, I look at 75 days and I go, in 75 days, I could be a completely different place. I could focus for 75 days. 90-day windows, right? There's 90 days in business. If I could just grind this quarter, 90 days, I could transform everything. Here's what I want to tell you as we start. You can transform your business or your fitness or your mindset in 90 days. 90 days. It's not, I lost 1 pound every week for 52 weeks. When you see these big, huge fitness transformations, the reason like an Ozempic diet goes crazy, right? Where everyone, it's so trendy, is because you got people that lose 50 pounds in 75 days, in 90 days. Whether it's healthy or not is a completely different topic that we're not discussing. But in a 90-day window, you could transform everything. So let's go through it. Let's talk about it. I wrote down intensity. What makes 75 to 90 days so powerful? It's intensity. If I'm trying to get my business up and going where Right now, I'm broke. I'm not winning. I'm buried in credit card debt. I'm unhappy. I don't feel good about myself. I'm frustrated. I'm telling you right now, in 75 to 90 days, you could change it. You could change it. But intensity is a big deal. I wrote down the definition of intensity in business. I said, what is intensity in the context of transformation? What is intensity? I put focus, dedication, and constant effort. Why 90 days? I could focus for 90 days. I could dedicate myself for 90 days, and I could consistently show up and try for 90 days. You want to know where people fail in a 90-day window, which is mind-blowing to me, for the very reason that we just got done watching the Olympics. And these are people that trained for 4 years since the last Olympics, and that's just the ones that were at the last Olympics. These are people who've trained their whole life to run the 100-meter in 8 seconds? So for 4 years, let's pretend you were there last year the last time in 2020 or 2021. For 4 years you trained, 4 years, day in, day out, focus, intense, consistent, committed, dedicated, giving it your all, diet, gym, everything, right? To get all the way there and run for 8 seconds. I look at 90 days and I go, I could do it for 90 days, right? 90 days of focus. 90 days of dedication. What's dedication? Dedication means I'm fully committed and I'm fully engaged into what I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm willing to give it everything I've got. Dedication means I'm willing to get up early. I'm willing to stay up late. I'm willing to stay up late and get up early. It's a full 90 days dedicated, committed, and constant effort. That's intensity. That's what intensity means in the form of transformation. How can you stay intense if you were going to put a plan together for 75 to 90 days? Well, let me tell you a little bit about this conversation I was having. I told her, I said, at this point in your career, it's not necessarily that you're going to learn something you don't already know from a skill set standpoint. It's not that you're going to wake up and you're going to go, oh, that's how I close a policy with a client. I'm explaining it wrong. And now you started closing 5 apps a week to now 10. That's not going to happen. It's not that you're going to figure out a better way to recruit and a better way of explaining the licensing process. It's not going to happen. It's not that you're going to figure out a better way of answering a client's question. It's not a skill set thing anymore. You're already making 6 figures. You're already closing apps. You're already winning. What is it? It's taking this 90-day period and going, you know what? I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. I'm sick of being stagnant. I want it way more than anybody else, and I'm willing to go get it. And it's locking in and going, in this next 90 days, I'm going to change my whole freaking life. I'm going to give it everything, this intense focus for the next 90 days, the dedication, the constant effort for 90 days. Imagine if we've got 2 sticks and we're trying to start a fire and we're just grinding them together and rolling them together and rubbing them together, right? And we've got rocks or whatever we're doing out in the middle of a wilderness trying to start a fire. It takes so much energy, so much just laser focused energy of everything you've got to get one little spark. Just to get one little spark. But once you get that one little spark and you start the fire, how hard is it to keep it? You just blow on it a little bit, throw some fire in there, or throw some leaves in there. It doesn't take a lot. And the fire, literally, you could burn all of California down. Right? It happens every single year. With that one tiny little freaking spark. So here's my point. It took everything you had to get the damn spark. And once you have the damn spark, you could take it through the whole freaking state. That's a business. I was talking to another buddy about the same concept who's a little bit out of shape, right? And he's like, I'm tired of being fat. And I was like, but you know what's crazy, bro? I'm going to tell you what I said. I said, you know what's crazy? You're always the same fat, though. You don't get fatter. And you also don't get any skinnier. You're always the same fat. What's my point? You maintain right there at your level of fat, right there. You're not getting fatter and fatter and fatter. You're right there. You're maintaining it. I said, imagine if you took 90 days of just dedication, focused and constant effort into your diet, your cardio, your sleep, your water, and your exercise. Where you got in the gym, you were weight training, you went home, you ate clean, you counted your macros. At night, you did 30 minutes walking on the treadmill, and you did it for 90 days. You could transform your whole freaking life. Who knows? You may wake up and see an ab. And guess what? The same way that you maintain your level of fat, which was his words, not mine, the same way you maintain that level of fat, you could maintain that ab. It's just it takes 90 days. If you could give 90 days of constant focus and energy, you could get to a new level of normal. And then guess what? It doesn't have to take that same level of intensity to maintain that. To have maintenance calories is so much easier than it is to lose weight, right? You could maintain just like you've maintained where you are. That's that constant focus, right? I wrote some things down. Let's talk about how can you keep that intensity for 90 days. Number one, daily accountability. I'm constantly accountability. What's your system for accountability? If it's in your business, I'm writing down, these are 5 things I got to get done every single day. What's my system for it? Am I putting it in an app? Am I writing it on a calendar? What am I doing where I'm daily accountable to myself? Accountability is everything. If I'm on a weight loss journey, I'm getting on the scale. If at 75 hard, it requires me to take a progress photo every single day. Do I see progress from day 1 to 2 to 3 to 4? Not necessarily. But do I see progress from day 1 to 10, day 10 to 20? 100%. So there's some sort of daily accountability. Daily accountability helps you maintain intensity. Number 2, a structured schedule. A structured schedule prevents room for error. Why am I so consistent in the gym now? Because I go at the same time every single day. When I was inconsistent, it's because I went at a different time every day, whenever I could fit it in. If I just trying to fit it in, I'm not always going to be able to fit it in. And so I'm going to end up being inconsistent. A structured schedule where you pick a plan and you stick to it every single day. And there are times that are allocated for whatever thing you're trying to accomplish, whether it's your fitness, it's your business. If it's your business, you're trying to consistently recruit. Well, then guess what? Every day at the same time, I'm going to prospect. Same time. This time is allocated specifically for this. Don't book me for dinner. Don't book me for a date. Don't book me for an appointment. This is my prospecting and recruiting time. Number 3, some sort of a progress tracker. You've got to have some sort of progress tracker or you don't know if you're making progress or not. Nothing's more discouraging than waking up and grinding every day without having a way to score your progress, because progress is happiness. Whether it's a journal, whether it's an app, whether it's a whiteboard in your office like the one I've got behind my desk. Seeing your wins boosts your intensity and your motivation. Seeing your progress gives you happiness and joy and makes it worth it. When you're down 10 pounds and you're still feeling like you're not happy with your results, and then your buddy goes, dude, you in the gym, you look like you're losing weight. Well, there you go. Guess what? New motivation for the next 30 days. And progress is everything. Number 4, managing your energy. Getting good at saying no to things that don't move the needle. If I'm trying to move the needle from here on my cash flow to here, then if someone's asking me to do something that's not going to make me progress, I got to learn how to say no. If I'm trying to lose weight and someone offers me a slice of cake at the wedding, I've got to be able to say no, right? Energy management, being able to prioritize yourself is important. Getting exercise is important if you're trying to be successful in business. Managing sufficient sleep is important. Getting the correct nutrition is important. All these things are important. Recharging. I talked to a guy on my team yesterday, Joey, and he mentioned recharging. He took 2 days when he was on this trip where he didn't run appointments. He said, all I needed is 1 to recharge, and I got 2. I am fired up. Recharging is important. Okay? Last one. How do you maintain your intensity? Regular short-term rewards. Rewarding yourself for progress is big. Setting up small little rewards for your accomplishments. You know, you're chasing, trying to grow your cash flow and climb the ladder. You're at $110. Well, when I get to 125, we're going to go to dinner. When I get to 150, we're going to go to dinner. We're going to do something. I'm going to do something that rewards me. Whether that be, hey, I'm going to get myself a new pair of shoes. I'm going to get myself a new belt. I'm going to buy myself a new suit. Whatever it is that rewards you, there's got to be some rewards. Otherwise, You're just grinding with nothing. And that's how you burn out. Okay, that's how you burn out. Now, how can you today start a transformation for yourself? Because I think that's important. I think you can change your whole life. There's been so many times that I've improved and upgraded my life in 75 to 90 days. So many times. I say 75 to 90 because I'm a big 75 hard fan. I love it. I think it's such a great system for just living life that way. It's pretty much how I do life for the most part. I don't always get 2 workouts in, like not always getting cardio in on top of the gym. But I mean, reading a book, I do it every day. Drinking a gallon of water, I do it every day. Eating clean, I do it every day. No cheat meals, I do that almost every day. I don't drink alcohol. So like pretty much everything on that list is how I live my normal life. And I'm a big fan. There's so many times that I have gone on a mission of self-improvement. This next 60 days, I'm going to just change my life. I'm going to get so much better. I'm going to read so much self-improvement books. I'm going to focus on getting rid of my bad habits. I'm a huge believer of New Year's resolutions because it's a chance to start yourself new. So I'm big on this stuff. But we're talking business. If we're talking business right now, and I take you back to the car when I was driving and Daisy was sitting there and we were having a whole conversation about this, how can you launch right now a 90-day transformation for explosion in your business, in your life? Because it's powerful and you could do so much. First off, I think you got to set a goal of something you want to change. Let's pretend it's your cash flow. Let's pretend you want to make more money. You want to pay off debt. It starts with something real specific. Real specific. I want to make an extra $22,000 in the next 60 days or 90 days, and I'm going to pay off all my credit card debt. I've got a girl on the team. Her name's Courtney. She set a goal. She said, I want to get out of debt. I want to take my kids to Legoland. She went on a mission. In less than 90 days, landed one of the biggest weeks of business she's ever had. Boom. $20,000 in commission last month. Debt-free. Could take her kids to Legoland. Setting a goal. It's just setting a goal. So starting today, whatever the date is today, you got to get clear on something you want to upgrade in your life. A real decision, if you go back to all the way to the root of the word decide, it's to cut off, which means that you're eliminating every other option, and this is the only choice going forward. Set a goal. Number 2, stick a deadline on it. 90 days from today, my life, my cash flow, my business, my bank account, my body, my fitness level, whatever, it's going to look just like this. 90 days from today. And in this 90 days, here's my best advice for you. You got to disappear. Disappear. Literally put your head down, disappear for 90 days. Where you're not available to the whole world. You're not at everybody's birthday parties. You're not at everything. You get real good at saying no for 90 days and you lock in and immerse yourself in your goal. Now, if you're a parent with kids, can you do that? Yeah, you can still do that. Don't disappear from your kids. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the extra stuff. The time spent on social media, the time spent listening to the radio, the time spent watching TV, the time spent hanging out at restaurants, doing nothing, just killing time. You could disappear for 90 days and in that 90 days completely transform your life financially. I've seen people do it over and over again. In your health, every before and after photo online is like 3 months. It's like 1 to 3 months usually, 75 to 90 days. It's getting really, really clear, creating a plan, writing down the things that you're willing to do over the next 90 days. I told Daisy, I said, I don't know what it is. I feel like you're doing everything right, but you know what it is. You know where you could improve. You know where you could get more intense. You know where you could get more focused. You know where you're wasting time. And 90 days, you could launch a plan for yourself. I wrote down a couple things as we finish on how do you maintain that intensity after the 90 days. Because in the 90 days, I believe it's intensity and systems. It's intensity and systems. Systems are the things that you have in place that guarantee success. Systems remove the need for talent and they guarantee success. If I just follow these steps, I'm going to make it. That's how a fitness plan works. If I follow this diet, this workout routine, and this sleep schedule, I'm going to get somewhere. And it's very simple. If you break the system and you don't do part of it right, you're not going to get the results you want. Business is the same way. Intensity and systems, right? Now, how do I maintain the intensity and systems after my 90 days? Well, after the 90 days, you got to set new goals. So that's why when one race ends, another race begins. When I transform my body in 60 to 90 days, I want to set a new goal. I want to set a new goal for my next level of improvement. When I go from 100,000 in the next 90 days, I'm going to make the most money I've ever made in my life. And you get locked in on writing policies, closing deals, building agencies, getting teammates, licensing people, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, you lock in, and in 90 days, boom, I got a before and after. And then I set a new goal. Okay, another one's having your routine. I'm a big creature of routine. We talked about that a little bit. You got to have a routine. You got to have accountability. You got to celebrate your milestones. And like we talked about a couple episodes ago, you got to have a growth mindset, growth mentality, right? There's always room for me to improve. Life is a never-ending growth journey. I believe that. And I believe in 90 days, you could transform everything. Huge transformations in business don't happen over 5 years because that's not impressive. Now, if we show a 5-year chart of just this slow climb, yeah, that's great. That's what we want, okay? Because that's sustainable growth. But the intensity that you could dump in your business over the next 90 days, that could give one of those, where if you're on a chart and you're speaking in front of 40,000 people and you put your chart up and it was like this, and then there's this one spot where it goes, whew. I'm talking about huge vertical growth. You could get that in 90 days. And then the intensity to get it has to be high, but it doesn't have to be as high to maintain it after that. If we could put all the energy, all the focus, all the fire into this one boom and get it, then you could go back to just maintenance, but you're maintaining at a whole nother level. That's the explosion. That's the secret of a short time frame. And all those big explosions, all those big transformations, they happened by putting all the time, effort, energy, focus, and everything someone's got into this 90-day, 60-day, 75-day, 120-day, whatever. It's this small time frame window where you could change your whole life and then enjoy the benefits of that small window for the rest of your life. Fitness, man, I'm gonna get a six-pack. And when I get a six-pack, I know I could maintain it. But it's going to take everything I've got to get there. But when I get there, I could maintain it. Hey, I'm going to build this huge base shop. And once I have it, I could maintain it. But it's going to take everything I've got to get there. That's the kind of talk I'm talking about, you guys. That's what I'm talking about, is giving all you've got for a short window of opportunity, creating this huge explosion in growth, and then enjoying that going forward. Now, I want to thank you guys for all the support on the podcast. Every time we get a chance to meet you, we see you out in the world, or you send us a message on Instagram, it means a lot. We appreciate it. And we're always grateful for the support. Any suggestions, any requests, anything you want, you could comment, send us a DM, whatever. And as always, thank you to all of you for sharing, and we will see you soon.